Jinger Duggar suffered identity crisis after leaving Duggar home and moving in with Jeremy Vuolo. Date: September 19, 2024. In a recent candid interview, Jinger Duggar Vuolo opened up about her tumultuous journey following her departure from the Duggar family home. The former reality TV star, known for her upbringing in the conservative Duggar household, shared her struggles with identity and personal freedom after marrying Jeremy Vuolo and starting a new life away from her family. A new chapter. Jinger, who gained fame on the hit TLC show, 19 Kids and Counting, described her transition as both liberating and challenging. Moving from a strict, controlled environment to a more independent lifestyle led her to confront aspects of her identity that had long been suppressed. "I felt like I was stepping into a new world," Jinger said. "But with that came a lot of uncertainty about who I really was outside of my family." Navigating challenges. In the interview, Jinger revealed that she often felt overwhelmed by the expectations placed on her as a Duggar. The family's conservative beliefs and strict guidelines dictated much of her life, leaving her with little room to explore her individuality. "After leaving, I had to figure out what I believed, what I wanted, and who I wanted to be," she explained. "It was like an identity crisis." Support from Jeremy. Jinger credited her husband, Jeremy Vuolo, with helping her navigate this challenging period. His supportive nature and understanding of her past allowed her to feel safe in exploring her newfound freedom. "Jeremy encouraged me to find my own voice," she shared. "He helped me see that it's okay to question things and to grow." Finding her voice. As Jinger began to explore her interests and beliefs, she found solace in writing and speaking out about her experiences. She has become an advocate for those who feel trapped by rigid societal norms, encouraging others to embrace their individuality. "I want people to know that it's okay to break free and find your own path," she stated. Reflecting on family dynamics. While Jinger has embraced her independence, she also reflected on the complexities of her family dynamics. Her departure from the Duggar household has not been without its difficulties, and she has had to navigate strained relationships with some family members who remain firmly entrenched in their traditional beliefs. "It's hard to reconcile our differences, but I've learned to focus on my own journey," Jinger said. Moving forward. Looking ahead, Jinger hopes to continue her journey of self-discovery while raising her children with Jeremy. She aims to instill values of love, acceptance, and curiosity in her family, contrasting with the strict guidelines of her upbringing. "I want my kids to know they can be themselves," she affirmed. Jinger Duggar Vuolo's story resonates with many who struggle with identity and the desire for personal freedom, showcasing the challenges and triumphs of redefining oneself outside of family expectations. As she forges her own path, she continues to inspire others to embrace their true selves. Jinger Duggar suffered identity crisis after leaving Duggar home and moving in with Jeremy Vuolo. Jinger Vuolo, née Duggar, suffered an identity crisis after moving out of the Duggar family home and revealed how her upbringing led to her having the hardest first year of marriage to Jeremy Vuolo. "I'm looking back 8 years in and going, that year was a breeze. But then you said last night, no, I think it was the hardest," Jeremy, 37, on the Wednesday, September 18th episode of their Jinger and Jeremy podcast. "And I think I agree with you. We faced so much adjustment and so much change." Jinger, 30, clarified it had nothing to do with her relationship with the former professional athlete, but was instead more connected to her ties to the Duggar family. Jinger is one of Jim Bob Duggar and Michelle Duggar's 19 children, and cameras began capturing her strict fundamentalist Christian upbringing on TLC's series 17 Kids and Counting in 2008. The show was later renamed to 18 Kids and Counting and finally 19 Kids and Counting as the Duggar family continued to grow. However, the show was cancelled in 2015. Jeremy and Jinger got married in November 2016. After the wedding, they moved into their Laredo, Texas, home, which was Jinger's first time living without her large family. "I realized in that time that I was afraid to go to coffee with a friend," Jinger revealed to her husband. "I was petrified in fear of having to do things by myself because I had a security blanket of having people around me all the time, whether that was siblings or even a close friend." The reality TV alum said she was used to that setting until something shifted after leaving her comfort zone for the first time. "It was really hard. I had to figure out who I was as a person," Jinger said. "I had the identity crisis of, okay, I know who I was in my family, but who am I as an individual now?" This led Jinger down a long path of entangling the fundamentalist teachings she'd grown up learning. "I was realizing that some of these things that I thought I really held dear, like the teachings of Institute in Basic Life Principles founder Bill Gothard, I'm realizing I'm not believing that anymore," the mom of two explained. "And that was a huge shift." Jinger detailed her re-examination of her youthful beliefs in her 2023 memoir, Becoming Free. Indeed, in the pages, the 19 Kids and Counting alum shared that her views on religion began to change in 2017 and called the teachings she grew up under harmful. IBLP teaches followers to not participate in activities such as dancing and dating. Meanwhile, women are expected to be submissive and obedient to their husbands. Jinger would later admit she would feel terrified going against God and said the religion had a lot of cult-like tendencies. Fear was a huge part of my childhood, the TLC personality told People in a January 2023 interview. Bill's teachings, in a nutshell, are based on fear and superstition and leave you in a place where you feel like, I don't know what God expects of me. The fear kept me crippled with anxiety. I was terrified of the outside world. In a heartfelt revelation, Jinger Duggar Vuolo has opened up about the profound identity crisis she experienced after leaving her family's home and starting a new life with her husband, Jeremy Vuolo. The former reality star, who rose to fame on TLC's 19 Kids and Counting, shared her struggles with self-discovery and the challenges of breaking away from her upbringing in a strict, conservative environment. Jinger's transition from the Duggar household to her own home was marked by significant emotional turmoil. Growing up in a family with stringent beliefs and expectations, Jinger often found her individuality overshadowed. After marrying Jeremy in 2016, she found herself in a new setting that encouraged her to explore her beliefs and identity. It was both exciting and terrifying, Jinger said in a recent interview. I felt like I was stepping into the unknown. Identity crisis. Leaving the Duggar family behind, Jinger faced an identity crisis as she grappled with who she was outside of the constraints of her upbringing. The conservative values instilled in her had shaped much of her worldview, and the process of redefining herself was not without its difficulties. I had to confront a lot of questions about my beliefs, my values, and my future, she explained. It felt like I was starting from scratch. Support from Jeremy. Jinger credits her husband, Jeremy, for being a steadfast support system during this challenging period. His open-minded approach and encouragement allowed her to explore her individuality without fear of judgment. Jeremy helped me feel safe to express myself, she shared. He encouraged me to pursue my passions and find out what truly matters to me. Embracing individuality. As Jinger began to carve out her own identity, she found solace in writing and connecting with others who shared similar experiences. She has become an advocate for those navigating the complexities of leaving restrictive environments. I want others to know that it's okay to seek your own path, even if it's different from what you were taught, she stated. This journey of self-exploration has also led her to speak publicly about her experiences, aiming to inspire those facing similar struggles. Family dynamics. While Jinger is finding her voice, her departure from the Duggar household has not been without challenges. Navigating relationships with family members who still adhere to their traditional beliefs has created tension. It's been tough to reconcile our differences, but I'm learning to focus on my own journey and not let that weigh me down, she explained. Jinger acknowledges that while her family remains important to her, she must prioritize her own growth and happiness. The role of faith remains a central part of Jinger's life, but her understanding of it has evolved since leaving home. She is learning to embrace a more personal and less dogmatic approach to spirituality. I believe in God and the importance of faith, but I'm discovering what that means for me personally, she said. This shift has allowed her to cultivate a deeper, more meaningful relationship with her beliefs. Future aspirations. Looking ahead, Jinger hopes to continue her journey of self-discovery while raising her children with Jeremy. She aims to instill values of love, acceptance, and curiosity in her family, contrasting with the strict guidelines of her upbringing. I want my kids to know they can be themselves and explore the world freely, she affirmed. As she forges her path, Jinger's experiences resonate with many who have faced similar struggles in defining their identities. Her story highlights the complexities of leaving behind a well-defined role in a large family and finding one's own way in the world.